Welcome into this video. This video is to help a beginner juggler learn how to juggle with the laces and get up to 10 juggles alternating, 10 juggles in a row with the right, and then 10 juggles in a row with their left, okay? So if you're not currently able to do this, watch this video. I'm here to help you, and part of why I have created this video is because I'm currently working one-on-one with young soccer players who can't yet do this. And so I was creating for them their own personalized video, a how-to video to improve their form, their balance, their coordination, their first touch. And I realized, this is something that's really needed among our beginner jugglers. So without further ado, let's dive in. Now, before we do that, I want to give you a little bit of perspective because this is very helpful and very powerful. So, Techne Football. I love Techne Football. I have a subscription with Techne Football. It's a technical skills training app, and I give a subscription to all of the student athletes who work with me so that they can have their own membership and learn and develop their skills using Techne Football. I so admire what they do over there, and I was recently, in preparing to create this video for you, I was doing some research, and one thing that I learned from Techne Football is that they've found that it takes 5 hours of consistent practice juggling with the soccer ball in order to be able to do 10 juggles consistently, controlled consistently. So if you think about it, if it takes 5 hours, well, that's 300 minutes, assuming I've done my math correctly. And so if you were to do 10 minutes a day, it would take you 30 days, 1 month, to get up to that 5-hour mark to be able to get to your 10 juggles alternating controlled, okay? With both feet, right, left, right, left. And so I think it's really important to share that perspective with you because one thing I've noticed among young soccer players, especially the beginners, is they feel like they're a failure because they're not good enough yet. They're not good with their non-dominant foot particularly, so they don't want to practice it. They give up. They don't even go out to do their juggling because they're like, oh, I'm not good. This is no fun. I'm probably never going to get better, right? And so I just want you to know this really is about putting in the time. It's about being patient with yourself. It's about celebrating the little wins, the little progressions. And it is about the consistency, the discipline. And so I think that is a powerful perspective to have up front when starting your juggling journey. And the last couple things before we dive into it, one, what I encourage you to do is juggle 10 minutes a day. Or juggle 10 minutes whenever you think about it, whenever you're bored. And that's gonna help you to get up to that 5-hour mark over time. It's much better based on what Techne Football has shared in their videos, and I've noticed this myself in my own life and also with the student athletes I work with. It is much more powerful to consistently do smaller amounts than to do one larger hour and a half juggling session once a week or once every 2 weeks. Compared to it is more powerful. You're gonna notice more benefit and more improvement more quickly when you're doing a smaller amount, like 10 minutes a day, consistently. All right, let's go. Okay, so you've got your soccer ball, okay? Now this is what I recommend you do. I want you to isolate one foot. So isolate your non-dominant foot. Isolate, for me, that's my left foot. I want you to focus on your non-dominant foot because I find most student athletes like to avoid their non-dominant foot and focus just on the one that they're better at. But I guarantee you, when you start with your non-dominant foot, not only are you gonna make sure you do it, but you're also going to, I think, feel even more motivated because you're gonna go from what you're less confident at to what you're even more confident at. And it's just gonna be a more enjoyable experience for you, okay? So here we go. So I want you to focus on your non-dominant foot. For me, that's my left. And notice that right now, as a beginner, okay, I want you to activate your core And you might find that you're a little bit hunched over. Over time, your form's gonna improve. You're gonna be able to be further, more erect, right? Better posture, more comfortable, more relaxed. But in the beginning, I want you to be hunched over, okay? And then, I literally want you to drop the ball to yourself and kick it back up and do it once. One, right? And you're just gonna keep doing this. And you're gonna notice that I'm actually balancing on this right leg. So there really is quite a bit of balance here, and there is some strength involved here too. Like you might notice that your glutes or your quads are starting to burn, and that's okay, that's a good thing. You're activating, you're strengthening these muscles, these muscle groups. And so what you could do is you could practice keeping your foot off the ground, right? And I'm creating this flat surface to kick the ball straight back up. Or maybe, once you get good at that, you might put your foot back down. Now, one thing I want to call your attention to is this. So if I have my foot too pointed, the ball is going to go out that way. If it's pointed down too far. If it's flexed too far back, sorry about the bird, it's really loud. If it's flexed too far back, what's going to happen? What do you think? Well, it's going to hit my toe and it's going to come back at me. Okay? So we want to find the middle ground between that. The middle between too pointed and too flexed, and create a flat surface. Okay? Now, a couple other things I want to point out. Height, the height of the ball. Ideally, you want to be aiming to get the ball at about your waist height. But as a beginner, it's totally okay. In fact, I encourage you to kick it up higher for yourself. Great. Now, once you're consistently able to get to 1, what's the next step? What do you think? Yes, 2. Then you build up to 2. Then you build up to 3. Then you build up to 4, and so on. And so it's gonna be very, very challenging for you to get to 2, 3, 4, and up to 10. Like I told you, you'll be able to do once you watch this video and once you begin practicing this in your life. It's gonna be really hard to do that if you can't consistently do 1, right? So you spending the time, you and the soccer ball, dropping the ball to yourself, kicking it back up, catching it, perfecting that with that flat surface, getting a controlled touch, you're gonna be able to build on that over time up to your being able to do 10 controlled juggles in a row, okay? So once you do that, of course, you'll go to your right foot. You'll do the same thing, drop and catch with your right foot. And what I like to do too, so once you've worked on your left, right? So we've done the 1, we've got that really good. We go to 2. Yep, we got 2, good. Maybe you'll go to 3, right? And so on. You'll do the same thing with your right foot. So we've got 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now you notice I'm keeping my foot off the ground right now. I'm not putting it down, but you totally could do that. You just might have a bit more shuffling happening, okay? But I find it helps control. You have less variables to think about, and you're just so focused on the ball and your touch on the ball and your balance. I find it's better in the beginning just to keep that foot off the ground. You are gonna notice more burning in your muscles, in your glutes, in your quads, and that's okay, that's a good thing, you're getting better. All right, great. So once you've mastered the focus on your non-dominant foot, juggling, starting with 1, then going up to 2, 3, and so on, then you'll go to the right foot, do the same thing, start with 1, drop, catch. Once you've mastered that, go to 2, 3, and so on. And then the next progression is gonna be alternating, right? So, how do I recommend you do that? Well, start with 1, 2. Then left, right, 1, 2. Okay, I dropped it, that's okay. That happens. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right? And you can, ooh, and you can see, no one's gonna be perfect at this, right? And so it's just being patient with yourself and enjoying the process of you getting better and better. And so once you're able to do 1, 2, in a controlled way, all right, 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna focus here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're leaning over, right? You're leaning over, core engaged. All right, I'm able to do that now. Okay, now let's go to 4, and so on, right? So can you see how we're doing little mini progressions over time? And what I want you to do at the end of your 10-minute juggling session, maybe you spend 5 minutes on, you can do all sorts of combinations, but you could do 5 minutes focused on your left, just your left foot. Then 5 minutes focused on your right. Then from there, you can see, you could test yourself at the end of that 10 minutes. Okay, how many can I get in a row with my left? Okay, how many can I get in a row with my right? And you write that down and you track that number over time, and I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, the next time you show up, not only is it gonna be easier for you, and not only are you gonna be better and your muscles will have strengthened, but I can almost guarantee you, you're probably gonna get at least 1 more juggle, right? And then the next time, at least 1 more. And before you know it, you're gonna be up to 10, okay? And then of course, over time, once you've mastered being able to juggle with just the left and just the right, then maybe you'll start spending less time just focused on the left and just on the right, and maybe you'll spend like 2 minutes on the left, 2 minutes on the right, and then the last 6 minutes alternating. And then at the end of that session, of that 10-minute juggling session, again, test yourself. How many can I do with my left in a row? How many can I do with my right? And how many can I do in a row? And eventually, my invitation to you, my goal for you, and let me know in the comments below once you get it, okay? My invitation to you is to be able to, I want you to be able to do 10 alternating in a row without dropping the ball, then 10 right, then 10 left. So the ball has not dropped once. You've done 10 alternating, 10 right, 10 left, and then you catch it. And you did it. And then before you know it, you're gonna be able to do that 100, 100, 100, and more. And you're gonna get more and more controlled. The ball is gonna be, instead of bouncing up to, kicking it up to your waist, it's gonna be more controlled down here, lower to the ground. It's all sorts of progressions. And not only is this gonna help you with your first touch and you're controlling the ball in practices and games, but this is gonna help you with your mentality and your confidence, because you know you put the time in to have earned this skill. And so you know that you are much more prepared to get onto the field and to handle the different situations that are going to come at you in practices and games. So I can't wait to hear how this goes for you. Drop a comment below to let me know your experience of this, and best of luck. You've got this. You're going to be at 10, 10, 10 before you know it.